not really. You're always having a guessing game leading up to the announcements, as I'm sure they are and you guys are as well. But no real surprises. I guess Hernandez at fullback has been named there, so it's going to be an interesting one there, how they utilise him. The 12, Hernandez, comes into there. You know, Bosch has played well at 13. We expected that. No real surprises. You know, when you look at it, there's a team that you've got to have a lot of respect for. You know, there's a back row that's been through the mill, and they're very effective. And it was alluded to by Keane, it's going to be a physical affair. But you know, the type of work they've done this year in the Rugby Championship and the exposure they've had, they went out and beat Wales and beat them well. So we've got a massive respect for what they're going to bring to the park tomorrow. And you know, I just reflect on the 2 tests I've had against Argentina since I've been here. I've loved those affairs. They were just physical and in the trenches, and the crowd loved those affairs sometimes. So they're going to get out there and see something pretty special. Even if the rain comes in, I think it's going to be a great battle. Sounds dangerous if he doesn't even know himself, because that's when magic can happen. But look, the conditions might dictate a few things, but I would expect they won't go too far away from a few aerial bombardments. And we have to be ready for that. You know, we've worked hard on how we handle that in our game and how we can return that in favour. So we might get a bit of return there as well. So that's for him to think about overnight. But he's just a dangerous character wherever he is. And I think if you look at Sanchez, their 10, he's certainly developed. He's got a nice little variation in his game. He can take the line on a little bit there and can hit his supports nicely in tight exchanges, little tight shifts. So you know, defensively, we looked at that, and if we can squeeze that space away, then they have to go to Hernandez. Then hopefully we push them away from their game plan. But I'd expect if the conditions come in, it'll be more aerial bombardments from Hernandez. If there's a little bit of space there, we might see some of that play that he can do. Yeah, well, I think in these affairs, there's a big onus on back threes to be able to understand the importance of their decisions early. There's space available, and you've got to make a very early decision on what space you go to, and it can be in the wider channel, 2 shifts away, 2 pass away to the wide channels, it might be deep, and the other one is in the air and contest. So there's a few decisions they have to make, and you know, up to date though, I think this series they've been very good on it, and for young guys they've learned a lot there. Absolutely, I think you cannot disregard what they would have gained from the Rugby Championship, and that's why in our discussions there's a massive respect for this challenge, for where they are now, and we're under no illusions that we're going to have to front up, and if it gets down to trench warfare, they're as good as anyone, and we rate ourselves in that area as well. So I think from a game perspective, there will be moments. You've seen some moments from Argentina that they're not afraid to take the line on it and maybe look for that extra channel, using Bosch in the midfield there a little bit. So I won't say it's going to just be a dour affair, but I think that those tight exchanges are going to give a nice little touch and edge to the game. And you know, we've got near full house, and if we can get the crowd in right behind it like they usually do, and you know, it'll be rocking. And you know, on the other side of the coin, if we find the space there, we've been working hard on that, and you know, we'll back ourselves to play to that space as well.